Let's do short stories because my kid said she needs this section of the whiteboard like yesterday. So I've been writing some favorite short story authors up here over the last few weeks, so I'll share them now. But let me know if you are into any of these or if you have your own favorites that you would like to share. So the first one I want to mention is really special. Joe Sacco. Did you know that there is graphic novel reporting from war zones? I didn't until like 10 years ago and discovered Joe Sacco's work, and it is very intense and very well done. I didn't know graphic novel reportage could be like that. So it's fascinating stuff that I would check out. The other one that I wish is more widely known is Isaac Babel. He's very close to my heart. I discovered him only because I took a Soviet literature class in college, and he was a Russian writer murdered by the Soviets. But before he passed, he wrote these wonderful Odessa stories of growing up as a Jewish bespectacled kid in this wonderful city of culture. And also, he wrote about riding with the Red Cossacks during the Polish-Russian Civil War. And I always wanted to do an essay about him riding with these big, fearsome horsemen was similar to Hunter S. Thompson riding with the Hells Angels. And these guys who didn't quite fit in, writing about these big, burly, out-of-time kind of characters. But anyway, Isaac Babel's stories are wonderful. Then a family favorite, The Dark Southern Tales of Flannery O'Connor. These are just perfect jewels. And if you were like me, of a certain age, you grew up with that Peacock book of Flannery O'Connor floating around the house because there are so many copies of that in the U.S. I saw them in all kinds of used bookstores for a reason. She's one of the best short story writers who ever existed. Two other entries you could almost say are trite, Twain and Guy de Maupassant, but they're known as kings of the short story for a reason. They're the kind of cats I plan to spend the rest of my life just picking up and reading because they're so perfect at writing those. Another family favorite is Willa Cather. I believe that she is one of the best, if not the best, writer that the United States has ever produced, and her short stories are just as good as anything. I read some of them a few years ago and they still stick in my head. Lastly, Ray Bradbury, because I just started a really well-curated 100-story collection of the couple hundred stories he produced, and they're all over the place. He shouldn't be classified as a sci-fi guy. He was a lover of life. He also wrote a book about writing the screenplay for Moby Dick with John Huston and how John Huston is like Captain Ahab and it was a crazy time in Ireland, but that would be a video for another day. But his short stories are wonderful for doing what all of these short story writers are good at doing, just showing us humans more about ourselves.